Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for something a little bit different. Obviously, we are very much so all used to talking about Chelsea here. I'm not sure about this background here. I might change to the usual one again. Not sure I'm a fan. Regardless, you're obviously used to us talking about Chelsea here, but well, the FIFA threw a spanner in the works, and we now have other things to talk about for at least a month because the World Cup starts Sunday. Now, initially, I meant to do this very stream to predict the World Cup tomorrow, but then I realized I'm not actually free myself tomorrow. So here we are, Friday evening. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week and are all excited for the World Cup. And that's the question I will start the boys off with. Lewis, first of all, thank you for being here. Secondly, obviously, we all know, all of us probably prefer club football. Do you care at all about the World
right
Cup?
now.
Are you excited about the World Cup? Does the winter ruin it for you, or you still excited anyway?
I will say I would have preferred it in the summer, and I think a lot of people would. But also the way that we're playing right now, I'm actually glad we've got this whole month off where I could just enjoy football for the sake of it. Like I'm the first one to say I ain't really an international guy, but I like football for the sake of football. And that's what this is bringing to me right now, because for the last 4 months I've been stressed out like crazy following Chelsea. I know for the next month, I'm just going to watch some good football. It might be a bit fatigued towards the end. I expect it's going to be like that towards the end of the World Cup and for the whole second half of the season too. But in terms of the tournament, thank God you lot turned up when you did, because, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like off the pitch issues and stuff like that we probably won't get into. But I'm just glad it's come now, because I think we can all say that we've needed it.
No, absolutely. That's I think the biggest thing. Like even if as Chelsea fans we wouldn't have been excited for basically this World Cup because of the situation it came in where we are in the league. Hey, it's all we could really hope for. But if I'm honest, like obviously I would have also preferred it in the World Cup. I think all of us in the summer. Sorry, I think all of us do. But I'm also I try to look at the positive side of things. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe a Winter World Cup is better quality because players are less tired than they are by the time we play in July. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we have a lot of injuries now. I still haven't seen a comparable stat of comparing injuries for Summer World Cups, comparing them to injuries now. Seems like it's a lot. Maybe it's just a lot of star players, and usually it's a lot of players that maybe are not as publicly known. It's a difficult one to say, but I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it, even though my country are not actually represented, obviously. Pies, I'll get to you. I know you're not the biggest fan of England, but is there still a little bit of something that always comes out of you when big tournaments come around, where you're like, as much as you don't care about England all year round, as soon as a big tournament starts, you kind of start getting into it. I mean, maybe you don't feel that way. I obviously don't feel it for England, but do you?
I mean, I probably should feel more patriotic, and maybe I will do, considering I'm born and bred in England. But I don't know. Yeah, I've never really been the biggest national team fan. I think maybe just because of the managers we've had overall. I think quite boring. Southgate, Hodgson, others we've had. But yeah, and obviously I'm so loyal to Chelsea that I might be, doing that video where the Arsenal fan celebrates or doesn't celebrate when Harry Kane scores, and he's just sitting there like, with his, he doesn't celebrate. That's like usually me, but because I'm so like loyal to Chelsea, I'm like, oh, fucking Spurs or Arsenal players scored. But for World Cup, you have to get out of that mode and you have to support your country and hope that obviously somehow we do win the World Cup. I doubt it will happen, but I want us to get as far as possible. Just really disappointed like Reece James hasn't gone, to be honest. I was really looking forward to seeing him because obviously he'd be starting, but yeah. I guess I'll try and get my patriotic side on. Yeah, kind of glad. I do agree, but yeah, selfish-wise, I'd like to see him score a screamer in the World Cup. That'd be good, wouldn't it? But
yeah, no, absolutely. It's kind of like we're caught in the middle. On the one hand, you don't want them to be involved just so they get as much rest and no, fear of injury and stuff. Obviously, he's already injured, but that's for the players that are actually going. But at the same time, obviously, we want them to do well. It's a weird one because obviously I know a lot of people that are not actually English, but through being Chelsea fans or whoever else they support, actually want England to do well. And that is something that I personally, like, I want England to do well, but for the sake of the Chelsea players there and for the sake of my friends that are English, because, I don't have anything against England. So, you be happy. But like you just touched on there, I'm not English, so I'm not just going to support Harry Kane scoring goals. Do you know what I mean? Like, for Austria, it's a different scenario. Thankfully, we don't have any Spurs players in Austria. Maybe that's partly why we're so shit, because we can't have any players at good clubs like that, other than Alaba. But, if you beat Andorra 1-0, probably as much as City should have, shouldn't be at the World Cup anyway. But, yeah, it's a weird one, because I don't know. I mean, Lewis, does it come out of you a little bit that care for the international football, or that care for a World Cup when the tournament comes around? Because I know otherwise, when international breaks come around, you're not exactly into it, are you?
For me, it's all just about the fixtures, really. Like, if the matches are interesting, I'm interested. The matches aren't interested, I ain't really watching. Like, I know me personally, I'm going to try and do as many Chelsea watch streams as possible. So I might watch more fixtures now than I ever have done in a World Cup. But it all depends on just the interest, really. If it's international friendlies, I genuinely couldn't care less, and I'm just waiting for club football to come back. When it's international tournaments, though, it's different than it is now, because usually it's in the summer. You haven't had any football for a month or so, and you'll just watch it because there's football there to watch, and also if you've got any vested interest in your countries as well. But this time, it's in the middle of the season. It would have been a bit of a headache, but we're shit. So I'm actually glad it's here. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to the fixtures.
I do hear that. I did put 2 polls out on Twitter today before we get into the actual predictions, because I do want to give Charlie a little bit of time to get here as well, so he can actually be here for our predictions. And the first one of my 2 polls was, who is your World Cup dark horse? Now, I gave 4 options. Some people could say maybe Netherlands shouldn't be counted as a potential dark horse anyway. Fair enough. Maybe the same could be said about Denmark. But, as you know, Twitter polls only allow you 4 options. You have to pick 4. At some point, you're like, well, how do I decide between multiple? Do you know what I mean? I'll start with you, Pies. Do you have a dark horse for the World Cup? And like it says on the tweet, it doesn't necessarily mean dark horse to win the thing, because as we know, surprise winners at World Cups are very, very rare. Like, in general, it's one of a few usual ones that tend to win the World Cups. But is there a potential dark horse in there? Could be one of those 4. Obviously, could be somebody else. Is there anyone that you're looking at where, like, well, they could be better than, well, a lot of people are expecting? Or if you want to, also someone where you just find it fun if they were better than a lot of people were expecting?
I think one of the teams in the Uruguay, they've got quite a few good players. I think the South American teams in general are very hard to beat. They're very, very sort of can be very defensive when they need to be, but also, they've got quality going forward. I just think with the fact that Uruguay now, they haven't really got, like, obviously they used to have Cavani and Suarez and that, but I don't know who they're sort of leading the line nowadays, but they've got a few decent players, and I've seen a few people talk about them. I don't think Senegal's going to do very well. They haven't got Mane now. I know they've got a couple of our players, but I don't know. I just don't think they've got enough going forward. He was their main guy. Netherlands again is a shout in there. They're actually, I think they're underrated, to be fair, because I don't think they've lost a lot. And Van Gaal's obviously a good manager. Just trying to think of someone else really. I think someone that, I mean, Denmark's maybe a little bit too generic because they did well at the Euros. I'm not sure. Trying to think. I think Croatia are good. You've got your mic on mute, by the way. You're on mute.
Yes, sorry, my bad. Maybe Serbia, maybe Switzerland. Switzerland made the quarterfinals of the Euros, so like could be something there. What like you asked about Uruguay. I mean, they've got Darwin Núñez up top. I think Edison Cavani is still in the squad, but I don't even know, where does Edison Cavani play nowadays? Does anyone know that? Is he even still playing? I've no idea. But I mean, I guess they've got Darwin Núñez, but yeah, they definitely have a good squad.
I'm gonna
players. Go on.
I'm gonna go for Croatia as my underdog. I think they've got a good squad.
Yeah, see, I was thinking Croatia as well, but then I looked at their squad a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, they don't have a single real striker, and that is a bit like
Kramaric, is it? Kramaric?
Yeah, Kramaric from Hoffenheim, and he's kind of like the closest thing to it, and he's number one, not that great, and number two, not even an out-and-out striker as far as I'm aware, at least, right? So, yeah, that is a little bit of an issue because, I'm like, where do your goals come from? But fair enough, I think Croatia is still a reasonable shout to make. Lewis, do you have at all like any sort of dark horse that you could put money on? Or you don't have to put money on it, where you'd like they could do something.
Denmark, definitely Denmark. Depends on what else you're asking for, really. Like Senegal, I don't really think would. I'd be very surprised if they go really far in the tournament because I think that Mane injury is going to fuck them.
Yeah.
But
That's
they
the
could
problem
still
for
make
them, isn't
last
it? Because
16
with
or so.
Mane, we probably all would have given them a bit of a chance, right? But without him,
Yeah.
you're like, you know what they're going to do?
If they pull something off, fair enough, because I don't know a lot about their squad other than the obvious Mendy and Koulibaly. But
Yeah, to be fair.
yeah, I couldn't really see him make past last 16, just off my base opinion right now. But yeah, Denmark for dark horses. Danish Maldini's taking it home.
I think Denmark is a good shout because Denmark, for a fair few years, they don't really have an abundance of these like superstar name players in their squad. But somehow they always just do really well. They work so well as a team. Obviously, I mean, us as Austria, we faced them so many times in all sorts of qualification groups, including for this World Cup, and fell short against them. Like, I think we lost like 4-1 at home and
What's your
3-0
thoughts
away
on
or
that
something.
squad?
Yeah, they've got a good squad. It's just, I look at especially their attackers, and I'm always like, yeah, how many goals are they going to score? But then they always just score goals left, right, and centre all the time, and I don't really understand. Like, they've got Dolberg, who, where does he play? Like Sevilla or something? Like they've got obviously Braithwaite, who used to be a Barca for a bit, but now he's at Espanyol. So like, they're not that great, but somehow they always turn out. Obviously with Ericsson and what's it called, Delaney and Mele, and you know they've got some decent players with Christensen as well. Obviously Ericsson, have I mentioned him already? Højbjerg, like yeah, you know it's not a bad shout. My dark horse.
Well,
sorry, go on.
no, I was saying Kaja as well. The Milan captain was just going through names.
Oh yeah, true, absolutely. Yes, I'm struggling for a dark horse, if I'm being perfectly honest. I kind of want to pick Uruguay. Obviously, Pies has already picked them now, but I'm not really sure. It depends on what I class as an underdog, right? Because you know, is it an underdog if I don't expect it and you somehow make it through to the knockouts? I don't really know.
Yeah, because what would you define it as? Like push to
I think underdog. I think underdog for me is quarters. I think because I don't think like a Uruguay or a Netherlands are going to get to the semis. I think quarterfinals would be good. So out of the groups, the next one, and then the quarters, isn't it? Next round of 16, and then quarters.
No, exactly that. Yeah, I will probably also go Uruguay because that's what I had in mind before Pi said it. I can't think of anything new, anything different. So I'm just going to stick with that. And then the next one, obviously, we will all talk our way through the brackets anyway in just a second time. But to start with, do you have a big favorite in mind as to who's going to win the World Cup? I will get it up on screen now. I gave the people 4 options. People voted the way they voted. At least 1,500 votes we had. So it is a bit of something. Now, you know, as I said, I, in my opinion, put the 3 most likes, even though I'm not even sure I would include France in that. Plus England, Brazil, Argentina, France. Is it any of those 4? I mean, who else could you make a shout for? It's a difficult one. Lewis, I'll start with you. Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Has to be Brazil for me. I think everything's just in the right place for them, and their team is definitely strong enough. And I think they're everyone's favorites. The way everyone's talking about, like it's either Brazil or Argentina, and could potentially be a Brazil-Argentina final. But yeah, I would push for Brazil as my favorites. Maybe France second.
I'd also put someone in there. I'd put Portugal right up there as well. I think they've got such a solid squad. I think they've got that sort of clutch gene as well. I know Ronaldo's going to be playing, Bruno Fernandes. They got a good defense. You know, I think Portugal always got to be considered. I think for them, I mean, we'll get the brackets up and stuff, but I'd be surprised if they didn't make the semis at least. I think they've got a really good chance.
Yeah, it's Portugal. It's a weird one to me because when you look at their squad, they have so many good players. Obviously, the Porto goalie is probably who they're going to have in goal, or is it Rui Patricio still? I'm not sure, but Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, still Pepe. I know he's old, but you know he's still not awful, is it? Leao, João Felix, Bruno Fernandes, like you said, Ronaldo. It's a good team.
Even
At the
the
same time, I feel like
crazy.
whenever I followed Portugal's results over the last 2 years, they were never that great. So I feel like Portugal
Bernardo Silva as well,
right? Like a shock early exit. I don't know. Sorry, go on.
You got like Bernardo Silva, the PSG left back. You know, Ruben Neves.
Nunes,
yeah, they got Andre Silva. They got so many good players, especially going forward.
Actually, mad, you know.
It's so good. That's why I said them.
Crazy.
I think their team is. They've got so many options.
That actually, I was gonna say dark horses, but I don't think they're dark horses. But they'll definitely be up there.
Yeah, like I say, the squad absolutely, but I feel like when I see their results, like they lost to Switzerland, they lost to Spain. Okay, Spain is not bad, but still, Like I don't know. I don't feel them as that solid. But maybe I'm wrong. Like their squad definitely suggests it. But I feel like the France squad also suggests they're going to be amazing. But I feel like France might also not be as amazing as a lot of people expect. It's a difficult one, absolutely. My favorite, I will say, Argentina. They haven't lost the game since 2019. I kind of want Messi to win the World Cup, if I'm honest. Austria isn't there, so a bit of a shame that there's no Chelsea players in Argentina, obviously. I wouldn't mind, if Thiago wins it for Brazil. I'm not going to cry about it whatsoever. But yeah, I might pick Brazil. Although I think Portugal is a fair shout. Whether I would think they're a fair shout to see them as favourites, I'm not sure, but they're definitely a fair shout for sure. All right, let's get the bracket challenge going. I hope Charlie will join us as soon as he can. And basically what we're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, we're basically going to pick each position in the group. So whoever comes first, second, third, and fourth. And then as we've done that for every group, the website will basically just show us the appropriate brackets in the round 16, quarterfinals, semis, etc. Obviously, get involved in the live chat if you have any differing opinions to us. If you want to get drastically involved and change any group positionings around, to use the super chat function, I always appreciate it, and we definitely will talk about those. But boys, shall we start with the first one? And the first one, unfortunately, is a bit of a dead one because I don't really know why FIFA have come up with this idea to make the host nation pot one. I understand they want to give them the best chance of going through, but if you give the World Cup to a place like Qatar and they're in pot one now, look at how dead the group is. Do you know what I mean? The opening game is Qatar Ecuador. Surely for TV numbers, you would want a much better opening game than Qatar Ecuador. Is that just me? Do you know what I mean? But Lewis, heavy favorites in Netherlands, or do you expect any upsets in that sense?
I think Senegal might actually push them and make it a bit difficult, but I still think Netherlands would make first. I think, top two just speaks for itself with that one. But yeah, I go Netherlands.
I would probably agree with those top two as well. I mean, Pice, would you as well? Would you put it in that order, or do you think something different could happen on that one?
I saw someone say that Ecuador have actually not lost in quite a long time.
Really?
I think
not an expert on them. I can't lie.
Yeah, I think they're quite solid. I will go for Netherlands and Senegal, but I feel like Senegal could be one of those that gets a shock early exit. I don't know. I'm just not. I need to watch them again. But even during the AFCON, they were solid. But
shit, they haven't lost in a minute, but they've had so many 0-0 draws.
There's who's that now? Ecuador or Senegal?
Ecuador. They've had 4 0-0 draws in their last 5. Then there's a 1-0, 1-1, and then they lost 3-1 to Paraguay. Yeah, they faced some good teams. Argentina. That Nigeria, and that's it really. But yeah, they have been unbeaten in a while.
That is fair, but then again, even if they got 3 draws, there's no guarantee you're going to go through with 3 points. Do you know what I mean? So it's it's tough. I would probably still keep them third, but maybe there's a shout that they get above Senegal. I mean,
they just look like they might be hard to break down. They might be a bit difficult, but there's so many 0-0s in there. It looks like they're attack shit.
It does look like that.
But then again, Qatar lost to Linfield a year ago, so they're just going to be bottom anyway.
Yeah, you think that. At the same time, 2 options. Number 1, Qatar could buy the referees. Number 2, didn't they win the Asia Cup or something a couple of years ago? I swear they did. But maybe that doesn't mean much. Maybe then I'm giving too much of credit to the Japans and South Koreas of the world. If Qatar won that and they're still awful. Sorry, remind me, would you stick to Ecuador third or would you push them up?
Yeah, I'd stick to Ecuador third, yeah.
Okay, fair dues. I reckon we'll leave it at that one. Charlie, hurry up. But we'll get to Group B. For you guys, I guess the most interesting group, probably for this whole channel, the most interesting group, because a lot of the viewers, of course, are from America. What do you reckon? Upset or will England top the group? I'll start with you, Price.
England, Wales, USA, Iran, I think.
England, Wales, USA, Iran. All right, Lewis, what about you?
Depends on what England turn up, really, because we've seen some poor England performances and we've seen England turn up for tournaments as well. But I think if I'm thinking logically and I'm just trying to look at ability, it is just the same 3 that Pies said. England first, Wales, USA.
Fair enough. I personally probably would have put the US second, but this is a democracy. And if you guys put Wales second, then USA will be second. I mean, we'll get Charlie involved. Once Charlie's here, we'll ask him about his prediction for that. If he does say USA, we will put a poll to the chat. But for the time being, yeah, like I say, I probably would put USA above Wales. I'm not 100% set on this, but I don't know. I feel like Wales were good, but surely they are all getting worse. Their star players were Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. Now, Aaron Ramsey plays a Celtic or Rangers or something and never gets a game. And Bale obviously plays in the MLS nowadays. I know he won the MLS Cup, but it's still not the same level as Europe, is it? So I'm like, are they still going to be as good? The USA, as much as, us as Chelsea fans with Pulisic is its whole separate story. Still got Giovanni Reina and, a few good players. I guess Serginho Dest in a World Cup can be a decent player. They've got Weston McKennie. They've got some good players, but fair enough. We will keep Wales second. Now, this next one, in my opinion, is actually quite a difficult one. Obviously, we'll probably all agree about Argentina coming top. But I think the second one is a tricky one. Now, first of all, do we all agree on Argentina coming first, Lewis?
Yep. Swan set.
There you go. Pice, you as well?
Yeah, 100%. Looking at that, yeah.
Yeah, you have to. But then the next one, because now Poland obviously have Lewandowski, and Matty Cash. But otherwise, how many amazing players do they have? They've got Szczesny. They've got, I think Fabianski has actually retired from international football, but they've got Szczesny anyway. But otherwise, how many great Polish players can you think of nowadays? Because I can't really think of that many, if I'm honest. I'm sure there are some decent players. I'm not saying they're all awful, obviously not. But at the same, and then, I was thinking maybe Mexico will actually, get second. But then I looked at the Mexico squad and they've kind of got no good players. They've got obviously Lozano from Napoli, but he's kind of like the only one. And they've got a couple of Guardado from somewhere in Spain, and obviously Alvarez from Ajax. But that's kind of the extent of it. So I personally probably would have picked Poland above Mexico. Pice, what about you?
It's quite hard to do this though, because like I just said, you're naming the individual players, but I think that's more relevant to knockouts. In group stage, I think it's about how the team play together and if they can grind the results. And I feel like Poland have just got more ability about them. So again, I could be wrong, but Poland, I think, they've been around the block a long time. I think they're more than capable of coming above Mexico, especially with Lewandowski. He could be the difference for them.
No, I do agree. And like you say, obviously, we don't know for sure. Maybe because we will have to try to fill the gap of the World Cup with streams anyway. So maybe after the group stages, we will actually look back at this and see how right or wrong we were. Lewis, would you agree with Poland, or would you have put Mexico second?
No, I would have kept Poland at second, to be honest. Yeah, I would have been fine with that.
Fair enough. And then do we all agree that Mexico at least come third and Saudi Arabia get fourth, I assume, Lewis?
Yeah. Mexico go for third, Saudi fourth.
Yeah, I do. I'm not going to get them up on screen now because it's going to take too long until I get that. But the Mexico shirts, especially the away kit, are an absolute thing of beauty. So just for that, extra shout out. I hope that they make it through to the knockouts, but I do reckon it will be Poland. All right, the next group, which, I feel like Denmark still... Sorry?
So I was just saying, we missed a few players from Poland. They've got Bednarek, they've got Milik, they've got Zielinski, Krychowiak. They've got a few decent players.
What does Krychowiak play nowadays? I swear it was at PSG 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was just looking at their last result. They beat Chile 1-0, and they're decent. So
yeah, fair play, to be honest. Although you say Chile are decent, they're not at the World Cup, so maybe they're not that decent nowadays. Who knows? But yeah, just getting to Group D. Denmark are a weird one still because, Lewis, you mentioned them as your dark horses. They've been very good for a long time now. They made the Nations League Final Four. They made the Euros semi-finals. Did England beat them? I'm pretty sure in the semis. And they had France in their groups on a number of these occasions: Euros qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, Nations League things. And I feel like they beat France quite often. So on the basis of that, and I think in the Nations League group they also finished above France. So could we see an upset here and Denmark top that group above France? Do you see that at all as a possibility, Pice? Because obviously France are missing a lot of players. Kante's missing, Pogba's missing, Varane's missing, Nkunku's missing. But obviously they still have Mbappe and Benzema and Coman, I'm pretty sure it's there, and Griezmann, obviously. And they still have good players in midfield too.
And the goat Giroud. Don't forget the goat of France.
Of course, the goat Giroud, yeah. True. But still, they are missing some important players. Like they're missing the entire midfield too, of that which won them the World Cup 4 years ago. Do you see an upset at all that Denmark could top it, or do you reckon France will still find a way through?
Could I see it? Yeah. Do I think it will happen? I don't think so. I think France will finish first.
Okay.
I think this is a pretty easy group, to be honest. I think it'll be France, Denmark. To be fair, I've never watched Tunisia, but I'm pretty sure Australia are terrible. So I'd probably go Australia last.
It's a weird one. I personally, just to keep it a bit interesting, because I want to predict something that's not just completely in the ordinary. So I would probably go Denmark first, France second, and then I'd probably say Tunisia ahead of Australia. Even though I heard someone talk about the Tunisia squad yesterday, and if I'm honest, basically didn't know a single player. So that kind of, maybe it's not too different from Australia. I'm not 1,000,000% sure. But Lewis, would you go along with my shock prediction here of Denmark topping it, or are you going to back France to top the group?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead of the curve on this one. We'll go for Denmark to finish top of the group.
Why am I even asking you? I should have known that all along.
If Denmark beat France, then it's possible. It's possible. And do they play first? I don't know. But if they do, maybe. But it all depends on that game.
It all does depend on that game a little bit. Charlie, you are here, and I didn't even realize. I think Lewis must have added you. I didn't even clock you. You just had up. My apologies. I go to you on this one as well. Are you going to back myself and Lewis with the upset prediction here of Denmark topping the group over France, or do you reckon we're being crazy on this one?
No, it's not. It's not an outrageous shout, because obviously the France are missing a lot of players through injury. Obviously, Nkunku going down just before the tournament as well is not ideal for them. But I don't know. I still think they've got more than enough to be able to top this group. Denmark are good, but I mean, I don't think they're amazing. They'll obviously get out of the group, but I still think France, with the firepower they've got, even though they're missing Pogba and Kante. I mean, Chouameni and Camavinga's not exactly like bad.
I forgot about Chouameni there. Yeah,
it's not exactly like bad backup options, are they? It's not like they're struggling in the midfield because Pogba and Kante are missing. So, I mean, I'd still back them to come top, but you could also see with France, they've had two pretty good tournaments now. Made the finals of the last Euros was poor, but defending world champions. I think they'll top the group. I think they've got enough to get past Denmark, but I mean, I wouldn't rule out Denmark coming top either.
Fair enough. I'll leave it like this for a second, just because I'm going to ask you a different question first. Firstly, Tunisia, Australia, who would you put third?
Oh, they're both shit, aren't they?
Yeah, probably. I honestly, I don't even know.
Mate, they're both. Let's put. I'll go Tunisia third. I just think then Australia bottom.
Yeah, fair.
But to be honest, I don't really know very much about either of them, so it's hard to say.
Nah, mate, neither do I, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Just quickly, because I might do a poll on this Denmark-France situation, but before that, I would like to get your prediction for the top groups. Do you agree with how we ordered Group A?
Yeah, 100%.
And then Group B, would you put USA second, or would you stick with Wales?
I'd put USA second. I think Wales. I think Wales come bottom of that group.
Bottom?
Wow.
Yeah, I think they will, mate. I just think they're like, I know it's their first World Cup and that, and they'll be up for it. And there's always a togetherness in the camp, which obviously makes up for a lack of quality on the pitch. But I don't want to say like I know loads about Iran. Of course I don't, but they're not as bad as I think people think they are.
It's true. I mean, they've got Taremi, they've got Johan Kabak, sure, however his name is pronounced.
And the Leverkusen forward that I've forgotten his name now as well. Azmoun. And also last time out in Russia, I mean, they had a group that had Spain, Portugal, and Morocco in it, and they only missed out on qualifying by 1 point. So, and the team's largely the same. So, I think they could come third in this group. But yeah, I'd put go.
I think. Can I just say like one thing I haven't probably mentioned so far, and it just reminded me because I saw a video of England earlier, like. The heat out here for some of the European clubs, especially the UK, like England and Wales, Scotland, unlucky lads. But yeah, these two, like, we could suffer quite bad. Like they were, you know what I mean? Like I feel like some of the countries that are closer and more used to playing in this humidity, like the Irans, like Saudi Arabia, even maybe they're more like maybe they get some shock results just based off they can outwork the other team. So. Yeah. I feel like that could come into.
Aren't the grounds meant to be air-conned or something?
They are meant to be.
That was one of the. Yeah. I don't
But
know
it's
if
like it's hot, but it's not even that hot. Like tomorrow, it's going to be 32 degrees. Sunday
That
on
is
the opening day,
bloody
it's gonna be
hot, Lawrence.
Oh,
No,
I
no, no.
That's-
Of course, it's hot, but it's no different to the Brazil World Cup or the South Africa World Cup.
Yeah, it's
Right?
like but in
Have those
Qatar
temperatures
and like
there all the same, and
It's
in
that
Russia.
dry.
yeah,
It's
but
that
it's
dry
that
heat in
dry.
Qatar.
Yeah, it's like a dry humidity. Like
Yeah.
when it's similar in the
That's not
UAE.
London, though.
That's more trouble.
Like I've been to the UAE and it's very similar. It's like it's horrible.
No,
It's
I hear it.
horrible.
I absolutely hear it. But obviously,
I
time of
wish
year
we had that
does
weather
make a
back,
difference.
man.
And had they done it
no,
a
I
month
can't have
ago,
that
Give me
it would have
heat
been
wave
about 40
season
degrees every
again,
day.
man.
Say that again, sorry.
I was saying, give me heat wave season again. Like I heard that temperature and a tear nearly dropped out my eye.
Bro, the winter's better than the summer. I'm just saying.
Oh way!
Oh, yeah.
No
Lewis,
chance. I'm freezing my bollocks off right now as we speak, and it's not even December.
I just had to throw that one in there. I prefer the
You know, both have that pro and cons. If you ask me.
I prefer the snow than the summer. Just putting that out there.
The
Throwing
I,
a
snow?
little-
I was
Oh,
happy
no.
at 40 degrees. I loved
Oh,
it.
no.
I loved every minute of it.
Horrible, bro. Come on,
You're
horrible.
mental, bro. You're
It was,
mental.
the weather was perfect. The sun was out. Everything was nice. Good times.
There you go. I mean, so far, and ladies and gentlemen, please place your vote in the poll at the top of the chat. So far, we've only got 18 votes, but still, so far it's 72% USA, 74% USA coming second in the group. So guys, place your vote, and we'll get back to that in a minute. I will leave this as Denmark France for the time being. Once I have sufficient amount of votes for this one, I might give you another poll for that one as well before we finish it off. But we still have 4 groups to get through, and this one, I think it's a bit of a spicy group because I think this is another one where we could see a bit of a shock, because I wouldn't at least be surprised. I'm not sure if I'm going to predict it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Japan kick out one of Germany or Spain, because to have those two, I feel like them two, Germany, Spain, are at a very, very similar level. So if one of them beats the other, there's a serious potential of just not quite working out and Japan sneaking a second, because Japan, they do have a tendency to at least make the round of 16. I swear, last World Cup, Belgium only beat them in like injury time, and they turned it around from 1-0 down to 2-1 in the space of like a few minutes at the very, very end of that round of 16 game. So I feel maybe there could be an upset in that. Charlie, do you see what I'm saying, or do you expect a comprehensive group by Spain and Germany? And if so, which order would you put them in?
No, I get what you're saying, but I think in terms of quality, I know it doesn't always go on quality. It's about what you can do on the day, of course. But I think you look at the 4 teams in there, Germany and Spain are clearly the 2 best in that. It's not like there's not one way you can think, Japan perhaps are maybe just a little bit worse than Spain. I think there's a comfortable gap in quality between the 2 sides. I'd have Germany top in the group just because I look at the Spanish side, and whilst there's some good young players there, the likes of Gavi, Pedri, and whatnot in the midfield, I think there's not really any standout players. I mean, Morata probably leading the line. Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati as well could play a part, but I think the Germans have got kind of tournament experience and just probably slightly better players and just a bit more experience within the squad at this kind of level, because the Spanish squad now is quite young. And you look at it, and as I said, there's not really any standout players for Spain. And then in terms of Costa Rica, I don't really know a lot about them. Obviously got Keylor Navas in goal. But other than that...
If it helps you at all, on FIFA 23, they've got 2 gold cards. So,
Who else plays them, Costa Rica?
Mate, no one that you know. It's some Donny that plays in the MLS. It's the only other gold card.
Mate, who was that guy called Campbell or something that used to play for him? The striker.
He used to play for Arsenal. I think he's still up front for them.
What, Fraser Campbell?
He's not.
No, Joel Campbell.
Oh, Joel Campbell. Joel Campbell.
Yeah, I think he's still up front for them.
But yeah, no, I think Japan have got a little bit.
I know that, but maybe he still plays for them. I'm not sure. But would you
Japan
go Japan second?
No, Japan third. Japan third. Yeah, they got a bit more about them. They got obviously like Minamino, who used to be at Liverpool. They got Tomiyasu, the right back at.
I think Kagawa still plays for them, doesn't he?
Kagawa's not in a squad. No.
Oh, is he not?
No, he's not in a squad. He's still playing, but he's not in the squad.
He's probably like 40 now.
Is he? I swear he was like younger than Hazard. Remember when United fans tried to tell us that Shinji Kagawa is better than Eden Hazard? Then obviously he clearly wasn't, but United fans thought that anyway. All right, that is Charlie's Group E. Then we go to you, Lewis. What do you reckon? You agree with that order? Do you cause an upset, or do you think Spain will top the group? Because Germany have the one question: who on earth is going to score their goals? Because our best friend Kai Havertz is the guy that's probably supposed to, because Timo Werner is out, and then who else have they got? They've got the Werder Bremen striker Füllkrug, but he's the first time at a tournament, so is he? I mean, so is Havertz, but Füllkrug is not actually that young, and he's never been called up before, and now all of a sudden he is. So do you think they're gonna get enough goals?
I think it's a lot tighter between Germany and Spain than we might give it credit for.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're very similar.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead of the curve again and put Spain top, Germany second.
All right. I will agree with you. I would personally predict an upset. I think Spain top the group, and Germany go out of the World Cup for a second time running.
Mate, that's outrageous. Someone needs to clip.
Before.
Mate, someone needs to clip this so that when it doesn't happen, we can run it back.
Mate, any opportunity to have a dig at Germany, I'm here for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna try my best. I hate the fact when Chelsea have German players, because then at tournaments I always like certain German players. When if none of them play for Chelsea, I can just dislike all of them. Do you know what I mean?
The ones we have aren't good anyway, so it's fine.
No, exactly. No, you the majority will probably outvote me and put Germany second, which is absolutely no problem. Pies, what order would you go in? Would you go Germany top, Spain top? What do you reckon?
I think I'm going to go Spain top. I think again it's very tight. Like I don't know. I mean, Spain seem to get goals from everywhere, and I guess Germany are going to have to try and do that. They've got obviously Sané, Gnabry, Hoffman gets quite a few for them. Obviously they got that striker. He scored yesterday. They only beat Oman 1-0 in a friendly.
Exactly.
I think they've just. I saw they actually started that 17-year-old. Is it Makoko up front yesterday?
Yeah,
So if they taken him, that's crazy.
He's going.
Wow, that's insane. 17 years old. So yeah, I mean they're definitely. It's funny, we all take the piss out of Werner, but he scores loads for Germany. So
no, exactly, but he's injured now anyway. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I think they might struggle a little bit, but there's no way they get knocked out. For me, they're too good, especially in defense.
They got knocked out 4 years ago by South Korea in that tournament.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the same. I rate Hansi Flick quite a bit. Okay. So yeah, they got that mentality with him. So. Yeah, they got a good defense for me. Kimmich as well. Everyone forgets him. He's an absolute beast.
And Rudiger as well.
Yeah, Rudiger, Sula. They got a lot of good players.
They do. They do. I just feel like they underperform. But obviously, with Charlie putting them top and you guys putting them second, they will go second, and we will have them as second in the brackets later on. All right, then Group F, another spicy one, because Belgium, and honestly, I will say I'm not sure how, are still second in the world rankings. Because when was the last time Belgium were any good? Because they had their chance in 2016 and 2018. They didn't take those chances. I personally think Belgium are miles off doing anything at this point.
They lost to Egypt today.
Exactly that. Egypt, they didn't even flip and qualify. I mean, at the same time, me and Pice were just discussing this. Oh, you mentioned them earlier, obviously, for their dark horse. I just think they don't have a striker. So I would probably still put Belgium
first. They got
the Batman. Yeah, Batman's up front, mate.
Got Batman,
not Belgium. I mean, Croatia don't have a real striker.
No,
Belgium obviously have Lukaku, right?
No, he's out for the group stage, man. They got the Batman up front.
Oh, is he? Did he get injured again? I missed that one. All right. Okay.
They're gonna send his ass back.
This is
Lukaku. Okay, then I'm gonna put Croatia top.
This is the shot group, by the way. Belgium are out 100%.
In the group?
Yeah. Is that Morocco, the other two?
That is Morocco, and that is Canada. And Alphonso Davies will apparently make the World Cup as well. He was initially told to miss it.
I think Belgium are out of this group.
All right. What position, though? 3 or 4?
I'm going to go... I don't know who's better between Morocco. I'm going to go Morocco second.
All right.
I think...
Croatia top, yeah?
Yeah, Croatia top. Belgium, then Canada, but I don't even think Canada and
Canada's decent,
Yeah, they're actually right.
Who else got Alphonso Davies back fit?
Jonathan David's up front. He scores a lot of their goals.
Who else have they got?
No, that's it. But it doesn't matter. They
got.
Still won
I think
whatever that cup was, they beat USA to it. So
they've got quite a few good young players. So whether or not that obviously translates into the World Cup is a bit different. But Yeah, I feel like Belgium could go out of this group. I mean, they got De Bruyne and Hazard might turn up, but I just obviously Courtois and guy. I don't know. This might. There's always that one group, isn't there, where like a big gun goes out usually. So I feel like this might be it.
I feel like it might be Portugal, but we'll see. See, now that you've said this whole Morocco thing, obviously, I think we've all seen Ziyech's absolute wonder goal from before like in his own half. Someone made the funny joke he just couldn't be bothered to run any further, so he took the shot. I found that quite funny. But could they top the group? Because, like I said, Croatia. Like I know Kramaric, but Kramaric is really not that good in my opinion.
But Orsic.
Orsic isn't in the squad, is he?
I don't think he plays for them.
Orsic not in the squad.
No, Croatia got
he's like 30 odd. I don't think he's in the squad these days. Maybe not. Shall I Google the Croatia squad quickly and we figure that one out?
Just look at their last game, see if he played. I don't think he did.
They got decent young defenders. Gavardio.
True. Yeah, but just no striker. So where's the goals coming from? Just does it Perisic have to do everything by himself and Modric?
Isn't that got that? Is it Petkovic up front? Is that who they're using, or is he playing out wide?
So, mate, if I'm honest. They're friendly this week. They played against Saudi Arabia and 1-1. Oh, they did play Petkovic up front. He plays for Zagreb, so that's it. Vlasic is on the left wing. He plays for Torino. Maya, remember in the summer pies when your expert was telling us about him from Rennes.
Who?
Well, I don't think we can take this too seriously because neither Modric nor Kovacic played.
Orsic did come off the bench. They obviously had Modric, Kovacic, Perisic.
Okay, he's in the squad.
Is Rakitic in the squad as well?
No. Too old.
No, he is quite old. Now, in their last Nations League game, I think it was, against Austria, they beat us 3-1. Perisic played. Some guy called Budimir was up front, plays for Osasuna, apparently. And then the back is obviously Barisic, Gvardio, Lovren still plays, and Stanisic, the goalkeeper, is Livakovic, who plays for Zagreb as well. I'm not sure. I don't reckon Croatia top the group. I'm a throw a rogue one in there. I'm gonna say Morocco top the group. I'm gonna throw a rogue one in there. All right. Who haven't I asked about this group yet? Lewis, why don't you go?
I don't want to see Belgium finish third, but I could understand the logic behind it as well. It could be any of the three.
Yeah.
I'm pushing Belgium.
I even think Canada stand the chance of coming second as well. I can't lie.
I just don't know enough about the Canadian side to even say.
But... Can I just say something? I don't know whether this is true or not, but Morocco, this last game, they played a 3-4-3 with Hakim Ziyech in the pivot. Very interesting.
A pivot?
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to switch Belgium and Morocco.
Graham Potter, you have some ideas. What the hell? That's probably why he was fucking scored from the halfway line or something, because he was not on the wing.
No, exactly. That makes a lot more sense now, then, to be fair. But Lewis, where would you put, or what order would you put the group in?
Yeah, I'd switch Belgium and Morocco, though, still.
Belgium and Morocco. All right, Charlie, what about you?
It's a toss-up between Croatia and Belgium for the top spot. I'd probably still just give it to Belgium because I still think they've got a bit more quality in the key areas of the pitch where it matters. So I'll go Belgium, Croatia
Belgium's
second.
Defense suck though, I swear. Who have they got now?
They've got Wout-Face, the Leicester
centre back. Oh yeah, he's all right. Who's the other one?
Alderweireld, Denier. There's a 19-year-old lad that plays for Anderlecht as well. No, I don't think so. But in terms of going forward, I think they just got a lot more quality going forwards than Croatia do. So I think that could maybe be the difference. So yeah, I'll probably.
I feel like when Laurenz, who did you say about you feel like they underperform Germany? I feel like that a little bit about Belgium. Like they've got a lot of decent attackers.
I think for Belgium, it wouldn't even be a surprise anymore. Do you know what I mean?
No, they missed the.
They missed Lukaku. They've basically just got De Bruyne. Do you know what I mean?
I'm keeping my eyes on Trossard as well this World Cup because
But does he even play? Isn't it Carrasco that plays?
Yeah,
but
Trossard's
in the squad.
No, he's in the squad for sure.
He doesn't play, but I'm still going to keep my eyes on him because they're probably. The thing is with this as well because of the heat. I feel like it's going to be a lot of subs and all that. I don't know. Are you allowed to bring 5
Morocco as well? The heat.
Yeah, it'll be 5.
Yeah, I was going to say that. They're an African country, so yeah, the heat could help them.
weather, climate, I would say, is somewhat similar in Qatar and Morocco. Obviously, both coastal. Charlie, sorry, I was just putting the poll for the other group. For, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, put your vote in the poll for who tops the group D, between Denmark and France, so we can have a final decision for that for when we get to the brackets. Sorry, remind me, Charlie, did you say Belgium top and Morocco?
Yeah,
second?
Belgium and Croatia, and then the last two is a bit of a toss-up, really. I'll probably go.
Oh, so you're going Belgium, Croatia, Morocco third. Okay.
Yeah, I'll put Morocco third, but I mean, them and Canada is not really too much in it, I don't think.
Charlie relying on batsman to get the goals, I'm seeing.
Made a bat. Or Dries Mertens. I know he's 35, but he's probably better than a
Hell,
batsman.
I forgot he was still around. Jesus.
Yeah.
Is he in the squad? He plays at Galatasaray.
Yeah, Mertens is in the squad, yeah.
Mate, Mertens has been around donkeys years.
Yeah, it's true.
And they got that, and they got Doku as well, who's quite exciting.
Yeah, not really a scorer though.
Not really a scorer, but yeah.
No, it's true. Lewis, you also said Belgium top, didn't you? Did you?
Sorry, I'm on mute. Yeah, I said Belgium top.
So what do we do now? Because, okay, we put Belgium top because two of you said that. But now me and Pice both put Morocco in and around it. But I put Morocco top, you put Croatia top, sorry. So who do we put second now? Because have all of you put, Lewis, have you put Croatia ahead of Morocco as well? Or would you put Morocco
Yeah, I
ahead
put
of
Croatia second in that one, personally.
All right. Fair dues. No African teams potentially. Well, actually, Senegal might go through. Well, or this next one. Let's get to this next one again, ladies and gentlemen. Please click your vote between France and Denmark, who tops Group D. Brazil, Cameroon, Switzerland, and Serbia. You know what? I'll throw mine in the ring first, and then I'll let you guys go. I've got back, my girlfriend's host what's the word? Home country. I put Switzerland second. I put Serbia third. I put Cameroon fourth. I don't even know many Cameroonian players. Is Abubakar Cameroonian? Who else is Cameroonian?
Yeah, he's Cameroonian. What's that guy that plays for Brentford? The forward, Mbeumo,
yeah.
Is he Cameroon?
Yeah.
Cameroon?
Yeah, Well, he's actually French, but he plays for Cameroon.
Oh, I know they've got. Of course, we're missing out Bayern's goat, Choupo-Moting.
Oh, Choupo-Moting, yeah.
Choupo-Moting. He didn't even start
maybe
they're friendly.
What is it? Who's the goalie as well? We got banned for a while. We tried to sign him.
Banana, yeah. Oh, they're not terrible.
I don't know a single one of their defenders.
No.
That's the thing. Like these groups are getting hard now because I've never watched Cameroon apart from the AFCON. I think the game I watched.
They've got Anguissa, centre mid from Napoli. I'm sure Pies know him from FIFA.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Akambi plays for Lyon. Akambi.
I
still reckon they're going to come last.
It's close now.
True, actually. I still reckon they're going to come last. But yeah, I back Switzerland over Serbia. Serbia maybe have the slightly better squad because obviously they've got their super strikers. But outside of that, they've got Milinkovic-Savic. But I feel like outside of that, I'm not really sure. I'll back Switzerland, but I very much see that you guys might pick Serbia. So we'll see on that one. Lewis, why don't you go next? Would you go with the same order? Would you put Serbia above Switzerland potentially? What would you go for? Are you muted again?
You, mate.
Bro, I think you're muted again.
For fuck's sake. Right, yeah.
There you go.
I don't know too much about the Serbian side, so I probably would just say Switzerland.
They've obviously got Vlahovic, they've got Mitrovic, they've got
Tadic, Jovic,
Milinkovic-Savic.
Shit. They've got a bit of a squad, one set.
But that's kind of it.
And Kostic.
And Kostic, to be fair. But then in defence, I'm like, well, who have you got? Do you know what I mean?
Stefan Savic, that's probably about it.
No, he's Montenegrin.
He's
Montenegrin.
Oh, yeah, shit. No, fair. I don't know them.
They got that Fiorentina guy who was going to move to West Ham. I know that. That's the only centre-back I know. Forgot his name, though.
I don't even know him by name. Do you know what I mean?
Milenkovic, I think his name.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at their squad. Loki, I think Serbia's is better, actually. I'll push them up to second.
Yeah, I hear it as well. I think because obviously Switzerland have got like Xhaka and a lot of
Zakaria
and Akanji and Sommer is one hell of a goalie as well. So I'll back them. Well, fair enough. You put Serbia second, Charlie. What about you? What order would you go in?
I'd probably switch Serbia and Switzerland as well, just because they've got more firepower.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, Switzerland could be a better all-round side, and we've seen them do quite well in tournaments before. In terms of last time out of the Euros, they done all right, knocked out France. I think they're better than people think they are, but I just think Serbia's, in terms of quality and the top end of the pitch, is much, much better. And that ultimately is probably going to make a difference.
Yeah. On the other hand, Switzerland have got a big plus as the flag. Do you know what I mean? But Pies, you agreed with them. So Serbia second in your opinion as well?
Yeah, I think they've just got more firepower from looking at their players. I think they've
Fair
got more
enough.
wins.
Sorry, Melly. You know, I was outvoted. I can't help it. I can't help it. We will put Serbia through and we will go to Group H. Now, I've got Uruguay top of this group. I will let's debate just first before we go the rest of the group. Pice, you said Portugal as a shout for potentially winning the thing. So does that mean you put them top? Because you also picked Uruguay as a shout for being an underdog at least.
Yeah, I think Portugal finished first. I'm backing them this tournament. I just feel like they're going to do well. Ronaldo's on some vengeance
I hope
mission.
they got in the group stage just to laugh at Ronaldo, honestly.
It's going to be his last World Cup. I feel like he's going to do well. And they've just got a lot of quality around them. So it's going to be tight, but I know Uruguay are very good. But yeah, I've one player completely forgot for Uruguay as well. Valverde. Massive player for them.
Exactly.
And
So-
Bentancur as well, decent.
Yeah. I just I don't know too much about Uruguay's defence and that, so I will go Portugal top, Uruguay second, and then I mean Korea or Ghana. I mean, we'll come to that. No idea.
Yeah, let's leave it at this for now. I'll ask the boys about who comes first and second, I guess. Charlie, would you put Portugal top as well? Would you give a Uruguay a chance?
Man, a lot of people are saying like big things about Uruguay and tipping them to go pretty far. I think they're decent. They are good. Obviously, I know their strike force is a little bit aging in Suarez and Cavani, but they've also got Darwin Núñez.
I don't even think Suarez is in the squad, actually.
Yeah, he is.
Is he? Because I saw the
pretty sure he
squad
is.
announcement video and Suarez wasn't in that.
I'm pretty sure he's in the squad.
He started last game.
Well, then he clearly is. I mean,
Suarez, Cavani, Darwin Núñez, Fede Valverde, and obviously Bentancur at Spurs in the midfield. It's not bad. I think they're a good team, and I'd probably stick them top because Portugal are one of those teams that, despite all the obvious quality they've got, as a unit, they never seem to play that well. They always kind of, you never know what you're going to get with them. They'll either turn up and they'll be really good, or they could go out in this group. So I'd probably stick them second. Behind Uruguay, just because I think Uruguay are a bit more of a cohesive, like they're better as they're more of a team, if that makes sense. Whereas Portugal, half the time, look like a bunch of talented
individuals. And I feel like this whole Ronaldo situation as well, just they always all try to like play it down, the whole Ronaldo and Bruno thing. I feel like they're just trying to play it down to not make it bigger than it is, but I still think it's a thing.
Yeah, yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, I put them just second.
Fair enough. I mean, Luis Garcia seemingly is Portuguese. At least that's what his super chat implies. He says Portugal stacked with talent, but our manager is poo, basically. Luis, why don't you put in the chat? No, Luis Garcia, I mean, sorry. Why don't you put in the chat whether you think Portugal will top the group, or do you think you'll come second, or whatever else? And someone in the chat made a fair point. Ghana did actually just beat Switzerland, I think yesterday in a friendly. So, you know, maybe Ghana is more of a shout than we think. Now, can either of you help me out, boys? Is Heung-min Son, is he available for the World Cup? Because obviously, didn't he have need surgery on his eye socket or something after
he's just got a mask on, mate. He's there.
Okay, fair enough. Because that still like I said 4 years ago, South Korea obviously kicked out Germany and all sorts. So, you know, maybe they're in for a shout as well. Lewis, then we've had 2 shouts for Uruguay to top it, 1 shout for Portugal so far. Who are you going to go for to top the group?
I do think Uruguay would top it. I think they've just got the best team out of the lot, but Portugal second, Ghana third. Still tighter than. I don't want to act like it isn't too tight, but yeah, just that.
Oh well, now we're done. Oh no! Go back. Can I go back now? Because I don't think I switched France and Denmark yet. Can I go back somehow?
No, yeah,
screw it up. Good. Can I still change this? Yes, there you go. Change this one. And do we all agree with that then, that Ghana come ahead of Korea? Because not that it matters, obviously, for the brackets now, but would you boys do that as well? Pice, I'll start with you.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I think so. I feel like Korea, though, like, aren't they I feel like
I
they're
would put
decent.
Korea second myself, but third. Sorry. You know, they've got the centre back from Napoli as well. They're not bad.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a toss up. No idea,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Fair dues. You're going to stick with Ghana, yeah?
Uruguay might even do like a Turkey and then just get knocked out and like
No, they
Korea
might
go
well
through
do.
or something.
Very
Yeah.
true. Absolutely. Charlie, who are you going to put third? Uruguay, Korea? Uruguay, not
I
Uruguay,
mean,
Ghana.
to us,
Korea.
I don't really know too much about either of these two sides. I'll probably just go Ghana to come third over Korea. I know Korea have got Son, but that's about it, really.
Fair enough. All right, boys. We get to the knockout stages. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if you're watching, please do subscribe. Smash the like button as well, because the more likes we get, the more we spread these streams out to more people, because the channel is not used to not having Chelsea content. So help me out, spread it out to more people, and follow us all on our Twitters, YouTubes, obviously Lewis's channel is down in the description, as is Charlie's, as well as Pice's website. Please do check those out. But round of 16, now is where it gets spicy. Now, the chat voted for USA over Netherlands, and the chat also voted for France over Denmark. So we did go with those orders. Let me just take the poll out of the chat now. What we reckon? Who do I start with? Why don't I start with you, Charlie? Easy one for Netherlands, or do you reckon USA could cause an upset in this one? I mean, you put them. You to be fair, did put them second, but the other boys put them third in the group anyway.
I think this should be fairly straightforward for the Netherlands, but again, with the Netherlands, they're kind of a team that can easily fall short in games they should win. I think the Czechs knock them out of the last Euros.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they did, when that shouldn't have really happened.
Off, didn't he?
Yep. So, but I mean, I don't see Netherlands having too many problems with the US, if I'm being honest. They should get through that one. So yeah, I'd pick them.
They should. And I'm pretty sure, didn't they at the Euros also not have Van Dijk? Wasn't that when he had done his ACL?
Quite possibly.
No, actually, I think he might have played already.
No, he might have played. I can't remember.
Me neither, to be honest. Me neither. But I reckon it will be Netherlands as well. Pice, would you go with Netherlands?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Fair.
Should be an easy game if that is it.
It should be. Absolutely, it should be. Lewis, Netherlands, yeah? Full house?
Yeah, Netherlands. US ain't getting through them.
No, I don't think so either. All right, then actually a big round of 16 game. Obviously, we just now, after the chat went for France, top the group, Denmark coming second. They will play Argentina if Argentina, as expected, top their group. That is a big round of 16 game in terms of maybe not the name of Denmark, but like I say, they are better than their names make them sound. But do we still back Argentina to go through? I do. Lewis, do you?
Even all my AC prop ain't enough for this one. Yeah, Argentina go through it.
I
won't even persuade you lot, let alone myself.
I mean, hey, if Denmark top the group, which they might, in my opinion, then they obviously don't play Argentina this early. So, then things are easier. So, if they top their group, everything's possible.
Got a body France first.
Yeah, true. Pice, Argentina or Denmark?
Argentina, AC in the mud. Lewis not tweeting for 5 days. Looking good.
What?
Oh my days.
Why just the dig at me for, bro? Why?
Yeah. Charlie, what about you? Argentina as well?
Yeah, I think so. Although I think it could be a lot closer than people might expect.
I reckon this could be like a penalties or extra time.
Yeah. I still think Argentina to get through, but yeah, I think it would be, if this match ends up happening, I think it would be a lot closer than people might think it would be, but still ultimately Argentina.
Do you guys I know Denmark have got like a good team. Do you think that, I just feel like they're getting hyped up because of the Euros? Like, it's very rare that back-to-back tournaments a team like this does well, like a country that's
true, but they were so good in between, like the topping groups with France in it, of like the Nations League group and stuff. So it's like
maybe they are just really good. I don't know.
It's a weird one, but maybe they will also disappoint on this one. All right, let's move on. Next round of 16. Also an interesting one. Spain, Croatia. Charlie, why don't you go first on this one?
Wasn't this one? This is quite a tough one, because like Croatia are decent in tournament football. They kind of know how to dig in and get results, and Spain are a little bit hit and miss. I know they made the semis of the last Euros. And I think they just went out on penalties to Italy in the semi, if I remembered correctly.
Yes, and they beat Switzerland on penalties in the quarters.
Yeah. I don't know. Spain, Croatia is a real tough one. I think this is one that could definitely go to penalties. I'm going to go... I think Croatia got the ability to upset them. I'm going to go with Croatia.
All right. Croatia for one. Lewis, Croatia or Spain?
Yeah, I'd actually go Croatia. Yeah, Croatia. I was gonna say Spain as well. But when you think about it, like that, I think the Croatian midfield is just much better, and that will be the difference between the two.
Fair. Price, you expect that one as well, or do you think Spain will do it?
I'd go Spain in extra time to win that one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time we give you another poll because I would also go for Spain. And to help us decide which one wins that one, we need to start a poll. I will move on, though, in the meantime already. We've got another huge round of 16 game. Brazil, Portugal. Obviously, that is only if Portugal come second in their group behind Uruguay. If they top it, obviously, it's different. But if they, even if it's Uruguay that comes second, still a tough game for Brazil. Like, do any of you expect Brazil to go out? I mean, most people pick Brazil as their favorites, but Portugal or Uruguay are both difficult round of 16 opponents to get. So, do any of you expect Portugal to beat Brazil? Paisel, let me start with you.
I feel like this would be. Oh my god, I don't know. I think Brazil might just have a little bit too much firepower and freshness about them going forward. I mean, the fact that someone like Vinicius might not even start for them is just ridiculous.
Oh, mate, he doesn't start for them.
That's just crazy.
So genuinely crazy.
Yeah, they've just got so many good attackers, man. And their midfield, like they got like Fred, Casemiro, they got Fabinho, like just solid. And they've obviously got other talented players as well that I'm probably forgetting, but yeah, I'd go with Brazil.
Bruno Guimaraes, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, like him, man. Jesus. Yeah.
Paqueta as well is decent in the midfield.
Their goalkeepers, I mean, to have the goalkeeper choice between Alisson and Ederson is mental. Do you know what I mean?
It's ridiculous. I think the only thing that worries me about Brazil is their fullbacks, because they just
who has good fullbacks other than maybe France, and they only have one side because fucking Pavard isn't going to do it, is he?
I'd probably go with
England
Brazil.
Has all the good right backs. No one else got any.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Brazil, but this would be very tight for me. I'd probably say like a 2-1 Brazil, or maybe even a 2-1 Portugal. But I'll go with Brazil just because maybe I don't know, man. It's just I'll go with Brazil. It's tight. Like I don't know. Like it's
also going to be a heated one as well. Obviously, both Portuguese speaking. It's going to be a spicy one. Yeah, absolutely. Charlie, what about you? Pick Brazil over Portugal, or what do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I would go Brazil. They're my tip to win, so I kind of have to go with them, really. I just think if it ends up being Brazil or Portugal, I think they've just got a bit more quality where it matters, and I think they're more of a team, and I think they're probably more likely to keep their heads than Portugal are. Portugal probably can get quite heated, quite rash if it's not going their way. So, yeah, I think Brazil, but just in this one.
I think what's going to play a bit of a role is I don't know how the media coverage in Portugal is, like what their expectation is from home, because I think the only thing that could maybe stop Brazil is the expectations that Brazil have. A bit like in 2014, obviously, when they were the home nation. Obviously, the pressure is different to playing at home, but if the whole nation is expecting them to win, then that pressure is not easy to deal with. So maybe that's what they could crumble under. But if Portugal have similar pressure, then it's going to even itself out, I suppose. Lewis, Brazil or Portugal?
Very, very tough to predict. It could go either way. Like you could have that Cristiano Ronaldo twilight performance out of nowhere. But if you look at it on paper, I do think Brazil just edge it, but it genuinely could go either way.
Fair dues. All right. Let's pick Brazil. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, place your vote in the poll, please, between Spain and Croatia, because it's 50-50 from our end. So please pick basically Brazil's opponent. Will it be Spain? Will it be Croatia? We move on to the remaining round of 16 games before we go back to that, and I will look at the results from the poll. England, Senegal. I mean, England do love a favourable, draw, I guess, in the World Cup, don't they? Because I mean, how you guys got yourself to the semi-finals last year without playing anyone decent was ridiculous, and it looks like you're starting off the same way. Obviously, as if you just pay attention, the quarterfinals might be more difficult. But do we all back England to beat Senegal? I do, if I'm honest. Lewis, go with you first.
England v Senegal, yeah. Unless England pulls some madness out, they should be going through in that.
Yeah, no, I expect so as well. Charlie, you as well?
Yeah, for sure. And the fact there's no Mane now makes it a bit like sort of lowers Senegal's chances anyway. So I'd go
Hey,
England.
Mendy could make himself the most unpopular man in all of England if he pulls out, one of those Brentford performances. People would not be happy. But Pice, do you agree, England?
Is this the one we're going to bottle?
I mean, you've got France next, so you can't just go knocked out without bottling it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I reckon England win in extra time on this.
Okay.
I think it will be very difficult to break Senegal down.
Might be, absolutely.
think
Especially,
so.
again, if it's hot and stuff. It always depends also on kickoff time, because obviously evening games, local time in Qatar, will be better because at night it will be cooler. Again, I'm not 1,000,000% sure. Are any of the stadiums cooled down with AC? Maybe all of them. Is it some of them? I have no idea. But fair enough. Clean sweep for England beating Senegal, and we get to the next one. I'm feeling another clean sweep. Pice, I'll start with you. France over Poland, or can Lewandowski make something crazy happen?
I mean, could do, but I think France, way too much quality going forward for me to get knocked out and be a massive shock. I feel like this is one where, what game did they have? I think they played like Hungary or something in the Euros, and they missed like 7 chances or something, and Hungary ended up winning or drawing. And it was like one of those where France you could tell the pressure was getting to them, and I'm pretty sure they bottled it. I think it was Hungary away.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, no, at the Euros last year, absolutely. Yeah, no, exactly that.
Yeah, no, they missed loads. I think they hit the post like 3 times.
But then France beat Portugal. That's why they went through. So didn't Portugal get knocked out in the group stages?
I think so. Yeah, I think
that's what I'm saying. Like, their squad is the same as it was 2 years ago. Maybe Rafael Leao is better, but otherwise, same team. So that's why I'm like not sure why a lot of people are so high about Portugal. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? All right, France. I do agree with you, mate. Charlie, France as well. No Matty Cash masterclass.
No, you wouldn't expect so, but France should have beaten Switzerland in the Euros last time and they didn't. So, they got previous of kind of slipping up in fixtures like this. But I'm never going to tip Poland to beat them. So I would go with France.
As would I. Lewis, would you as well? France over Poland, yeah?
Yeah, France over Poland, 100%. All
right, then. Last 2 round of 16 fixtures, and they're starting basically the last quarterfinal. Belgium, Germany. A duel of the same flag colours. Can we call it that? Neighbouring countries, obviously. Difficult one. Obviously, I said Germany might get knocked out in the group stages, but because this is Germany for me, once Germany smell blood, once Germany make the knockout, I think they're dangerous. But if Germany go have a shock exit, it's in the group stages to me. Once we get to the knockout, I don't expect shock exits anymore. Obviously, they might lose to a better team. That happens. But I'm expecting them to, the Germans just know they're just good at knockouts, aren't they? They always have been. So I'll pick them. But obviously, if Belgium make it to the group stage, to the knockout, and then Lukaku is back, obviously Lukaku does add a lot to the Belgian national team. Given De Bruyne and Hazard, I guess, that option of Lukaku will make a big difference, especially compared to Michy Batshuayi nowadays, right? So maybe that can change it, but I'd probably still edge it with Germany. Charlie, who would you go for?
I'll probably still just go with the Germans because I just think they've got a bit more know-how about themselves, a bit more experience in the lineup, and I think just a bit more quality in the key areas at the top end of the pitch. I know Belgium have got some exciting players, but Eden Hazard's not the same player he was 4 years ago. And Lukaku's going to be missing. He might be back for this game, but he wouldn't have played for a while. And I just think defensively, there's a real lack of quality there, which could really harm them. So I'll go with the Germans on this one.
There you go. Clutch, I clearly haven't followed the chat in detail enough. You said it's not timing him out. I hope you figured it out since then, because it looks like you timed him out since then. So I hope you figured that one out. But yeah, fair enough. Germany, like I say, I'd go for them too. Lewis, Germany for you, or do you think Belgium could nick that one?
Again, could go either way, this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead of the curve. Hazard masterclass, Belgium. But I'm probably
Which one? Torgan Hazard masterclass. Yeah?
Double, either side. Either side, bro.
Mate, Thorgan doesn't even start for Dortmund anymore nowadays. It's crazy.
Mate, I didn't realise Torgan Hazard's 29 now.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Oh, I feel old.
Yeah.
That is very true. Yeah. Remember when Thorgan Hazard was this kid? Hey, long time ago now.
Mhm.
All right, but we still 2 Germany, 1 Belgium. Pice, are you going to make it another 50-50 and we need another poll, or are you going to back Germany?
Germany, 100% for me.
First, any explanations for that one, or?
Too much experience, I think. I just think they're better than Belgium, to be honest. I think they'd get at their defence and just beat them, to be honest. I don't think it would be a smashing. I think maybe 2-0, 2-1. But yeah, Belgium's defence just not great, not good enough for me. I know they got De Bruyne and Tielemans in midfield and stuff, but the defence ain't it for me. I think
Witzel is not what he
Germany.
used to be as well. In
Yeah,
the field,
no,
so, I mean,
I think Germany win.
I do agree. All right, and the last round of 16 fixture, Uruguay against Serbia. Now, both of them are deemed dark horses by some people. Obviously, this is only the tie if Uruguay actually top their group. If Portugal top their group, this could be Portugal, Serbia, Portugal, Switzerland, Portugal, Cameroon, theoretically. Us expecting at least Brazil to top the group. But what about this one then? Lewis, I'll let you go first. Uruguay, Serbia. You got a favourite in this one?
Another tight one, but we'll push Uruguay. I'll go Uruguay. I think their team's just a bit stronger.
Fair enough. Pice?
South American against the European team. I don't know. I feel like this one might go penalties. Seems like a bit of a boring game to me.
Yeah, it could be. Although when you look at their squads, they're both the best going forward. So maybe not. I don't know. Hey, if it's 4-4, sorry, and we go to 8 penalties, not complaining, am I?
I might pick Serbia. You know, yeah, I'm going to pick Serbia.
All right, 1-1 then so far. Charlie, who would you pick between the two?
This is quite an even matchup. I'd probably just go Uruguay, just because I think there's just a little bit more quality in the midfield, which could make a difference. I mean, going forwards, I think Serbia got plenty of quality, perhaps maybe a bit more than Uruguay, given the ages of Suarez and Cavani. So yeah, I think just Uruguay, but this will be a real close one. I wouldn't be surprised if Serbia did win, but I'm going to tip Uruguay just.
Fair enough. Now, before we quickly do the quarterfinal ones, going by the poll in the chat, Spain actually beats Croatia. Obviously, it was 50-50 from our votes, making it around a quarterfinal time between Spain and Brazil. But the first quarterfinal that we will look at, Netherlands versus Argentina. Difficult one because Netherlands have a good squad, obviously. But in the eyes of most people, I think Argentina and Brazil are the two favorites. So does that mean Argentina go through? Charlie, I'll go with you. Argentina, Netherlands, who are you picking?
I don't know. This is quite tricky.
Anyone got any background noise?
Yeah, it's like it's almost like a.
Isn't it Charlie tapping his desk? I think he did.
No, I'm not. Am I tapping anything? No, I don't think I am.
I swear you got.
Oh no! To be fair, like one time before I did, but I haven't done that for a while.
Well, we'll figure it out.
This is quite tough because if Netherlands do actually turn up and play as well as they're capable of playing, then I think they've got an ability to beat Argentina. But then it is hard to look over the quality of Argentina, and they are due to do reasonably well at some point, and perhaps even win the World Cup. I know obviously they got close in 2014, but do you know what? I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go for a Netherlands win.
All right, fair enough. I back it. Well, I don't back it myself, but I rate that you back it, basically. Lewis, are you going to go along with Charlie with the slight upset, I guess, at least according to the odds?
Nah, I still think Argentina take it. I'm pushing Argentina far in this tournament.
As am I, mate. As am I. If I'm honest, Pice, would you pick Netherlands or would you pick Argentina?
I'll go with Argentina. I'll go on Twitter, the European lad. I know he's Dutch. He won't like this, but he'll know. We've talked sometime, and he has said Netherlands can have when they're bad, when they have an off day, basically, they're really, really bad, and he does like to. He has a bit of a moan, more than I think he you know,
Should
or
sometimes.
yeah, more than I think I would rate from Netherlands. Basically, like happens more often than I think. So everyone's like hyping them up. So I think they'll go out, but yeah, they're still a decent
Just
team.
with how disgusting their home jersey is, I can't see. I don't want them going it far. Like, what is that? The worst looking jersey in
Thing
the
is, like,
tournament.
if you
Maybe
on,
after
like,
USA, that is also bad in my opinion.
on paper, like Netherlands team's really, really strong, especially their defense. Like Dumfries, Van Dijk, De Ligt, and then like I don't know who their left back is, but
Isn't the
They
Malasia
got
the United
well,
one?
that's it. Yeah, like
and they got De Vrij as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, no,
They've got Frankie de Jong in midfield.
Argentina, very good team, but
Yeah,
I'll go with
but Argentina
Argentina.
are good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I will back it. Is that all of us? Yeah, I would back Argentina as well. So it is Argentina for that one. And then we get a big one. Obviously, there was two of us that picked Croatia rather than Spain. But in the end, the chat helped us decide to make it Spain-Brazil. Big game, that. A big game. But for me, not easy, but I would still very much so expect Brazil to go through. It's just a shame that if Brazil and Argentina both top their group, that they meet in the semis, because to me that should be the final in an ideal world. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe one of them doesn't top the group, but both of them are clear favorites in their groups, right? So it's that one. But yeah, I would say Brazil. Charlie, what would you say?
Yeah, I think Brazil as well. Too much quality for Spain.
I hear you, Pies.
Would probably back Brazil. Wouldn't be surprised if Spain had some, I don't know, like a tactical masterclass, 1-0 or something, shut them out. But
yeah,
I'll go with Brazil just so we can get this semi up, because this is a bit mad.
it is true. It's a big semi-final, absolutely. Lewis, would you pick Brazil? Also, I can't talk today anymore. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I would have gone for Brazil as well. I think Spain will go down swinging, but it's Brazil.
There you go. All right, then. Next quarterfinal, England versus France. Now, is the patriotism coming through? Are you staying realistic, or do you call it realistic if you pick England to go through above France? This is a tight one for me. Honestly, I don't honestly not sure yet which one of the two I'll pick. So I'll let you guys go first. Pies, why don't you take this one? Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on Gareth Southgate. I think squad-wise, England can certainly hold their own.
Yeah, no, I think France. Attack's too good for our defence. Simple as that, really. Benzema against Maguire, Mbappe against Trent or Trippier. Like, yeah, see me out. Goodbye.
Yeah, mate.
I mean, if France played like average, I think we could take them to extra time. But I just got a feeling they're just, they might get like an early goal and then we'd just be like, oh, shit, and then probably lose like 3-1 or something. Depends how long we can hold them out for, really. Because like I have seen us defend quite well in some stages, but I don't think we've got like the quality, even the experience. Like our squad's quite young still, so I think France have just, France are France. Like they'll find a way past us, I'm sure, if we do play them.
Fair enough. Lewis, would you back France as well, or do you reckon England got one in them?
England have one in them, but it's still France. France are winning. Here's what it is.
It is what it is. Charlie, are you gonna get the patriotism out? Are you gonna get the flag out, or are you backing France as well?
No, mate, the flag's not coming out. It's got to be realistic, isn't it? They're better than us. As simple as that. And as soon as England ever play any teams that are better than them, always lose. So I can't see that changing.
Boys, if you know, I'm sure we've all heard about the World Cup curse of the reigning champion always going out in the following group stages. Now, obviously, we have put France so far already. Are they really making the semis? Like I say, all the recent reigning champions always got knocked out in the group stages. Brazil in 2006, Italy in 2010, then Spain in 2014, and then Germany in 2018. They all went out in the group stages. So, fair enough. I would have actually maybe picked England, but I'm not sure. It doesn't matter anyway. 3 of you picked France. And then we've got Germany, Uruguay. Another interesting one, because Uruguay, we said it's tight for this one. We were tight in where they're going to finish in the group. What about this one? Germany, Uruguay. Now, I like Uruguay, but we're getting to big tournament mentality when you get to these quarterfinals, and then I just don't quite think Uruguay have it in them. I just also feel they would have exerted so much energy getting to this point in the first place that unfortunately I think Germany might nick it. Even though I think both Germany and France aren't actually that good, I still think that's going to be the semi in this case. But does any of you pick Uruguay? Charlie, would you pick Uruguay or is it Germany for you?
I don't know. This is a real tough one. I'm not sure. Do you know what? I might just go Uruguay.
All right. I rate it. Can't I? Any explanations for it or just gut feeling?
I don't know. Just a bit of a feeling. I know Germany are decent, but they're not like amazing. They haven't been like that good for a while, really. Arguably, really, since they won the World Cup, they've not really been all that in tournaments since. They're obviously due to come back up again and have a decent tournament at some point. But I don't know, just something about Uruguay, which just, I don't know, I just feel they might be able to do it.
Fair enough. I rate it. Pice, would you pick Uruguay as well, or you're going to go for Germany?
So this is my problem because, like, I can see France getting to the semi-final, but I can't see Germany or Uruguay getting to the semi-final. So then I'm thinking, who else would get there? England? Like, I don't know.
It's
like,
a much easier side of the draw. It's true. Honestly.
Yeah,
obviously,
if
Portugal took their group, you could just have France, Portugal in the semis. Because obviously, then it's Portugal instead of Uruguay, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and then my shot of Portugal being up there would be more
feasible. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. Germany or Uruguay. See, Germany do have a bottle in them, but they are very experienced, as you said. They'll smell blood. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're like their attacks all that. To be honest, like Havertz, Sané, Gnabry. Like, it's obviously they got Musiala as well, but he's very young. Yeah, I don't see them.
No,
if this was it, I'd go Uruguay on like maybe like a late winner or something. Just make it horrible. They're a South American team, kick lumps out of them, sort of thing. Get them annoyed. I don't know. I just feel like if you play like a South American team, full stop in the semis or something, they're gonna fight until they're dead. Like they're that sort of mentality. You know what I mean? So.
No, exactly. All right, then. That gives us 2 votes for Uruguay, 1 for Germany so far. Lewis, do we need a poll for the chat, or are you going to go for Uruguay as well?
No, I'm going Uruguay. I had Germany out on the last 16 personally. So, yeah, they're definitely rocking out.
True. You did say that, actually. No, fair enough. That would be crazy. That would, number one, it would mean 3 out of the 4 semi-finalists would be from South America. And that country only has, 11, 12 countries or whatever? So that is insane. But just in general, Uruguay making the semi-finals would be mental. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the very, very final stages here now. Semi-finals, huge game. Repeat of the Copa America final, which obviously Argentina did win over Brazil. I'm pretty sure it was the final. Which Argentina obviously did win last year, or 2 years ago, whenever it was last year, I think. A lot of people are seeing Brazil as the favourites. If you compare their squads, you would probably say Brazil are the favourites. But Argentina have Messi. So it's just a question of how he turns up, I suppose. I also feel like Argentina will do better than their squad maybe suggests they will, just because they will all try so hard to make Messi win the World Cup, basically. But obviously Brazil all want to win the World Cup, but it's not this for this one guy specifically. Because Brazil,
I think Neymar, bro. I think Neymar's probably. Do you reckon
but he
that would really
could play another World Cup if he wanted to. I know he said it's the last one, but he's not old enough where it has to be the last one. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe at his top level it is though. So I think
true.
this World Cup for Neymar really cement his legacy.
What legacy?
But yeah, carry on your point.
No, it's all good. I'll go with you first, might as well. You're back in France. I have a feeling I'm going to be 3-1 down with Argentina here, but you're back in. I said France, didn't I? You back in Brazil or you back in Argentina?
Just look at the last times they played each other. Last 2 times it's been 0-0 and Argentina have won 1-0. So, I mean, it's always like literally nothing in it, which is surprising because, well, actually, it's not surprising because sometimes when you get like 2 teams of high quality players, it does end up like actually a low scoring game because they're kind of scared of each other, aren't they? So,
To be honest, that the whole World Cup is usually like that. You know, a lot of
scared
goals
of going
against,
out
2-1s,
and
1-0s.
yeah. So I'll go for Argentina.
All right.
But I mean, yeah, just because on their recent record against Brazil, they seem to have that edge.
Okay.
And
Fair
I
enough.
actually I remember watching the what was the final where Messi won that was it the huge trophy? Argentina won
against
1-0.
Brazil, Copa America.
Copa America.
Copa America, that's it. They were very good against them, so I'd say Argentina.
Fair dues. It's also a fair, statistic, I guess, to go by. Their recent result against each other, obviously both of them being South American. Lewis, would you back Argentina as well, or do you reckon Brazil got this one?
You're muted.
I don't know. Yeah, I still don't know. I'll push Brazil. Just Brazil. Just 'cause I think their squad overall is a bit better.
I hear it as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very fair, very fair one to go for. And then Charlie, do we need a poll, or are you going to go for Argentina?
No, I'm going Brazil, mate. Brazil for me. I think it's their time.
Fair enough. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because obviously Brazil are the record, World Cup winners. I'm not sure if everyone is aware of that with 5 wins. Argentina won 2, but the last one was obviously when Maradona pulled his hand out. And obviously handed gold and everything. What was it? 76? Is that it? I'm pretty sure. So that's actually their last World Cup win. So yeah, it's definitely a big one. Ladies and gentlemen, place your vote in the poll at the top of the chat. We will be there in just a second's time while we discuss the other semi-final, which is another big one, but also has if that became reality, you would certainly say France are the favorites. So Charlie, I'll go with you first on this one. You reckon France will come true to their role of favourites, or do you reckon Uruguay cause one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history and make the final?
It's a tough one. I mean, looking at it, I know we've picked it in that, but I still don't think that France or Uruguay is going to make the semi-finals. But somehow we've ended up, and here we are. But
yeah,
I don't think France are going to make back-to-back finals either. But then I don't think Uruguay are going to make the final, but I'm going to have to go with one of them. So, I'll go Uruguay. I think it's about time that South America were kind of dominant on the world stage again. It's been a long time since a South American team's won.
It's a very light blue-based final, at the moment. Obviously, we're still voting between Brazil.
I'll go Brazil-Uruguay final, although I still don't see that happening either. But for this is how it's worked out. So I'm going to go Brazil.
This is how it's worked out, mate. Yeah. This is what happened.
Yeah, Brazil, Uruguay for me. I can't see France getting to the final
Germany,
twice.
But, hey, it is what it is now. Yeah, fair play. Price, are you going to go along with that Uruguay shout over France, or do you reckon France got this one and make the final?
France, Argentina final, or France, Brazil final would be a great watch. And I think it would be a fitting World Cup final. So, yeah. Although I'd obviously root for Uruguay if they ever got there, just because, imagine Uruguay winning the World Cup. That would literally be insane.
Huge.
But I don't see it happening. France in the final. Yeah. It's a weird one though. I do agree with Charlie. It's I don't know how really we've ended up here, but again, if
France's route makes somewhat sense, unless they obviously come second in the group, but you'd expect them to be Poland. Against England, I guess it's a 50-50, but France maybe a slight favourites. And then they're in the semis already, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't know, man.
It goes quick. Fair enough. You went for France, so we've got a 1-1 vote so far. Lewis, who are you picking? Oh, you're muted again, sorry. But who are you picking between France and Uruguay, bro?
Can't be
I can hear you.
Yeah, France have got a lot further than I thought they would. I thought they would have dropped out around the quarters, but with this route, I'm pushing France all the way to the final. Yeah, France all the way.
Fair dues. I will, as much as I would love to say Uruguay, I feel like it's going to be France. But if I'm honest, I think the world champion comes from the other semi-final anyway. So I think regardless of whether it's France or Uruguay in the final, whoever wins the other semi, I reckon, is in the end going to win the whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you just a minute more. Please put place your vote in the top of the poll, in the poll at the top of the chat. So far, it's 62 38 to Argentina. But we've only had a couple of votes, so please place your vote so we can actually move on, because obviously otherwise we don't know yet. Now, for the time being, because Argentina are winning, even though I'll give you guys a chance for a few more minutes, maybe you can sway it, obviously. Say it is France-Argentina. Do you guys agree that basically whoever the winner is of this semi-final wins the World Cup? Would you agree with that, Lewis? Or do you think whether it's Argentina or Brazil, France might beat them?
Mute again, bro.
I think all you need to do is tap the mic.
Yeah. Bit of a discredit to France to say it, so I don't want to, but I would pick Argentina over France a one-off game, especially with that whole Messi factor, and the same thing, the Neymar factor in Brazil. Like, I saw a debate on the timeline a few days ago saying like this is the biggest tournament in Neymar's career, for example, and like this could be where he defines his entire legacy, and that sort of thing does make the difference in these sorts of one-off games. So, like, France are definitely capable of beating either of them, but I kind of agree with it, kind of. So yeah.
No, I hear it. HM says France will not make the final. Have you seen the issues with Benzema midfield injuries? I have not, and if I'm honest, I don't fully think that they will make the final. To be fair, I said England over France, but I also don't think England make the final. So, it's just, unfortunately, it always ends up being one side of the draw. It's always a lot less stacked than the other one. I mean, if we just scroll up quickly, just before I asked Charlie about his thoughts, I mean, you had the Netherlands in here. You had Argentina, like Denmark, who I still think are a good shout to make the quarterfinals, maybe even semis if they get a lucky draw. You know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot of big teams knocked out already. I guess Spain too, although Spain had similar levels to, I suppose, the Germanys and stuff. But yeah, Charlie, for the time being, again, let me just see if Argentina is still winning. Argentina is still winning. If it is Argentina, Brazil, who would you pick?
You mean Argentina, France? I would pick Argentina over France for sure in a one-off game. And I mean, how many times does a team win the World Cup back-to-back anywhere? Has that ever happened?
I think Brazil did, and I think
is
Uruguay
it just Brazil?
did. Uruguay won the first two, didn't they?
It might have done, yeah, but that's like the 1930s.
Yeah, that's like 34 and 30.
1934.
Yeah. So, but I think Brazil might have been the last one that did in the 80s, potentially.
Yeah, maybe. So it's not something that happens very often, and I don't think, as good as this France side is, I don't think they've got that in the locker. So I'd go Argentina.
Fair enough. And then Pice, lastly, assuming it is Argentina, I don't think the poll's going to be changed anymore at this point. So do you think it's going to be Argentina, or do you reckon France can do it? Or to be fair, it's actually now only 52-48, so maybe we're not fully done yet, and maybe we need to discuss this again with Brazil in a minute.
It's going to be tight. I think in a one-off game, I think Messi might do it. Might then just retire or something. I don't know.
Yeah, retire.
If he got to this point,
what do you please? I don't need another Champions League.
Yeah, that would just be literally insane. You know what though? I'm going to upset the odds a bit. I'm going to pick France just because I think they've got there before last time. And I think Mbappe could do an absolute madness again. I think Argentina's defense is a little bit overrated. So yeah, they're more fighters than anything. So yeah, I'd go with France actually.
All right. Well, currently, what has happened in the poll is that Brazil has just overtaken Argentina to be at 52% over the 48 of Argentina. Sorry, Brazil has the 52 over the 48 of Argentina. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you another. It's now 6 minutes past 9 my time. I will give you another 2 minutes. In those 2 minutes, please, all of you, there's still over 80 of you here, so please, all of you, place your vote in the poll and pick your winner between Argentina and Brazil in that semi-final. So we can actually finalize this before the last two questions, which I will ask you, is about the top goal scorer and the player of the tournament. Those, so maybe think of those already if you want to have your answers ready, I suppose. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, just do that. And in the meantime, those of you that have already voted, please do subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button on your way, well, not out, just smash the like button. Doesn't cost you any money or basically any time. So please do that. Would massively help me out. And hit the notification bell button as well. And select all so you don't miss any future streams, because we will be streaming during the World Cup. I'm not sure what exactly. The next one might be Monday after not Monday. Is it Monday? Well, definitely next Friday in a week's time when England play USA. I think we might have to react to that one after the game. Can the panel guess the winner of the Golden Boot this World Cup? Yes, we will, Kushal. Yes, we will. Let's give it another minute and let's see what the people vote for. So far, let's let the thing update quickly. Can it update, please? I think Brazil is still in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Again, place your vote in the poll. But otherwise, Brazil is taking the lead more and more and more. So the Argentina fans certainly more quick to respond. And now it's looking like Brazil. The question is, does that change anybody's opinion as to who will actually win the final? Now, we've just lost Pice, but I'd ask you again, Charlie. If it is Brazil, does it change your mind at all? Or do you just think it makes the final even more clear, arguably?
No, it's Brazil for me. They're my pick to win. So, yeah, I think Brazil, definitely.
Fair enough. Lewis, if it was to be Brazil rather than Argentina, picking them?
Yeah, I'd still go Brazil.
Fair enough. Now, I would like to ask Pice, but he's not here right now. I'm sure he'll be back in just a second's time, hopefully. Otherwise, England is just caught by power cut again. Or his Wi-Fi just gave up. But, even if he says France, I will say Brazil over France as well. So, seemingly the chat has decided for Brazil. Fair enough. It's now 55% for Brazil and only 45% to Argentina. I think Pice is back. There he is. Let me just add you. Pice, the chat has changed their minds. They have now picked Brazil rather than Argentina. Does that change your vote, or are you still picking France?
No, I'd go Brazil to win the World Cup if it was Brazil or France. I think it would be a shootout, and I think Brazil's defense is, I don't know, man. Silva at the back with probably Marquinhos, like Alisson in goal. Yeah, I think Brazil just not much in it, but I think Brazil just.
Fair do. So on the 18th of December in the, Lusail Stadium, however it's supposed to be pronounced, whether it's air-conned or not, we expect or we think Brazil will win the World Cup. Again, this is obviously just our predictions with 4 people thrown together, so it's not even just our individual opinions, with, on a few occasions, the chat involved as well. But we're picking Brazil. Like I said, the last 2 questions. Let's pick the Golden Boot winner and the player of the tournament. Because the Golden Boot is somehow usually more relevant and more, I don't know, just gets more coverage, I guess. Let's pick the player of the tournament first. Usually the player of the tournament at least makes the final. Usually wins the final. In 2014, Messi won player of the tournament, even though obviously they lost. I can't remember who won player of the tournament in 2018. Was it Mbappe? Was it Griezmann? One of them, I feel like.
No, it was Modric.
Oh yeah, it was Modric. Also losing to
Hazard robbed, by the way. I'm still
even though he didn't make the final.
Disgusted to this day. How dare you? Honestly, he was by far the best player in that World Cup. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is very true. It is very true. But now with this being the final, obviously Argentina and Uruguay being the other semi-finalists in our prediction here, who are we picking for player of the tournament? I'll start with you, Charlie. Got anybody in mind? Is it a Neymar? Is it like, I don't know?
Mate, I'm gonna go heavy on the Neymar prop. I think this is Neymar's moment. I think he'll beat Pele's goal scoring record for Brazil in this tournament. And yeah, I think this is his time. This for me is the best Neymar we've ever seen. I think right now, could be. I think he's better than the Barcelona Neymar in terms of what he's doing on the pitch for PSG at the moment. I know people can say it's the French league, but the numbers he's posting up, and his form for Brazil has always been pretty decent. And their 2018 World Cup fell apart when he got injured. So for me, I think this is the Neymar tournament, and yeah, it's Neymar player of the tournament for me.
Fair enough, Lewis. Would you pick Neymar as well?
Yeah. If Brazil go through and win it, then it's definitely going to be Neymar player of the tournament. Even in spite of whether he is the best player or not, for PR purposes, he'll win it anyway.
Yeah. I hear that. Pice, you picking Neymar too?
I'm going to go with Alisson for player of the tournament.
Alisson?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I think I'll go with Alisson. He makes a lot of big saves for Liverpool, and I think if Brazil were to win the tournament, he's going to be needed. And I think he's the best goalie in the world. So yeah, I'll go Alisson.
Okay, interesting. See, I will make a bit of a rogue shout, because I know he's not in the main starting 11 for Brazil. I feel like the first game maybe won't go as crazy great for Brazil, and then Vinicius Jr. finds his spot, and then I think Vinicius Jr. takes over the golden boy spot from Neymar, and he wins the playoff tournament. because I think Vinicius Junior is just very good. But obviously, he has 1 goal and assist in his last 17 appearances for Brazil. So if he does that, it's a major rogue shout. I just wanted to throw something different in the back. There you go. All right then, Golden Boot, because Golden Boot is a very, what's the word I should use? That can be very different. Like England only made the quarterfinals in our prediction here, but if Harry Kane bags 4 goals against Iran, he has a very realistic shout of winning the Golden Boot. If Mbappe scores 4 goals, 5 goals, bloody hell, at least even 3 goals against Australia, and then maybe another 2 or 3 against Tunisia, he's basically got it in the bank already. Obviously, you've got your Messis, you've got your Neymars, you've got, I don't know, like a Depay if Netherlands get a few penalties and stuff. What are your is there like a rogue shout in terms of Golden Boot winner of someone that doesn't even make the final, or do you think it's going to be between France, Brazil, maybe a Messi, Lewis? Who would you pick for Golden Boot winner?
I'll go Mbappe, especially if we're saying France make it all the way to the finals. I'm saying Mbappe.
Picked my guy.
I'm gonna be real; it's just the easiest choice too. But yeah, is what it is.
Why is no one picking Giroud? Imagine Giroud wins the Golden Boot at the World Cup. Well, that'd be funny. Fair enough. Mbappe is shout number 1. All right then. But do you not think if Mbappe wins the Golden Boot, even if France don't win the final, don't you think he might be picked as player of the tournament over Neymar then?
No, because it usually goes to the winner. So
yeah, but the last 2,
the Neymar's PR is good enough that he could beat Mbappe on that.
the only reason why Modric won it is because he played for Real Madrid and Hazard played for Chelsea. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but Hazard didn't win it either, though. So
he should have.
He got the silver ball
from France.
No, he got the silver ball, didn't he? He came second.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is he didn't win the World Cup either. So it's not like Modric won it over someone. The guy that should have won it over Modric was also not a winner. That's what I'm trying to say. But I still think Mbappe is a fair shout for Golden Boot. Charlie, who would you pick for Golden Boot? Mbappe?
I probably would have picked Mbappe, but I might just go something different. I think Benzema, but I also think, I don't know, I always think Darwin Núñez could do something as well potentially. I know that might be a bit of a rogue shout, but do you know what? I'm going to go Núñez just to be different, but I do think it probably could be better. It could be Benzema as well, but I'll go Núñez.
Fairs.
Shut down football if that happens.
Guys, who are you picking?
Shut down Twitter. Fuck that.
There you go. Look, maybe Elon shuts it down before anyway. Pies, who are you picking Golden Boot winner?
I was going to go with Mbappe. I mean, Kane's a good shout, but I just don't think we create enough. And unless we drastically improve, I don't think he's going to get it.
It's just about how many goals you get against Iran, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can be one game. Like, Kane won it, in 2018? Just because he scored, 4 against Panama or wherever it was?
No, but it was all pens as well, most of it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. But he scored basically all of his goals against Panama. And that's how he won the Golden Boot. See, I will pick, I know obviously in the end with the chat, it was Brazil that beat Argentina, but I will also pick Messi as Golden Boot winner because Argentina are a good team, but I think they're so focused on Messi that he will, unless he gets a lot of assists, but I'll pick Messi. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't win the World Cup, he'll be sad regardless of whether he wins the Golden Boot or not. I'd really hope it's Messi. I really do. But, it will be what it will be. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time to round this one out. To be honest, this took longer than I expected it to, but I thought we had a pretty reasonable time. Last chance before the World Cup. What's a good question to finish it off on? Without now picking one select, like when we went through the groups, who's going to be a shock upset. But is there any shock early exit that you would pick? Whether it's a shock early exit in around 16, shock early exit in the group. Is there any team where you're like, yeah, maybe they'll very surprisingly get knocked out earlier than people would expect? Do you have a shout for that one at all, Charlie?
I know I tipped them to go through, but I think Portugal could easily fall into that category. That would be. I'm not saying it will definitely happen, but if I had to pick one, I think there's a high chance that they could fall short in the group if they're not bang on it.
Fair dues, Lewis. Shock exit. Anybody you got in mind?
Could be Belgium. Could be. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll say Belgium. I'll just say Belgium. Easiest pick.
It's all right. Pice, what about you?
I was going to go Belgium as well. Yeah.
Can do. I will stick to what I said when we predicted the groups. I will say Germany. You're talking down Iran. They defeated Uruguay 4-1 in September. See, if they did, fair enough. None of us are experts on Iran. None of us claim to be experts on Iran. You know, you have to. Unfortunately, the World Cup is a bit of a place where history dictates a lot. Like, there's only a handful of nations that have actually won the World Cup. Like, there's genuinely not many. There's Spain, Italy, Germany, France, England are the only 5 European nations that have won it, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously you've got Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay. Those are the only 8 nations that have ever won a World Cup, right? It's only 8 nations in the world out of 190, depending on what geopolitical opinions you have, how many countries there are. And, you know, I just think the Asian teams have historically just not done that well, with the only exceptions being, if anything, Japan and South Korea. Not, like, how China is not better at football, I would never understand. How can you have nearly 2 billion people and you don't get at least 20 good at football? I don't understand how that's possible. Same for India, really. Obviously, funding, but that is more of a reason than in India than it is in China. But China are good at every other sport, aren't they? But, you know, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Laurenz, we know you picked Germany because of the Austria agenda. Maybe, but Germany are also just not very good, you know? When were they last good? Tell me. Because they weren't. If you lose to England, can't be that good. And that's when they lost at the Euros. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time we round this one up. I'm excited for the World Cup. If you are, again, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Big shout out to all 3 of my wonderful guests. Subscribe to their channels. CarefreeLewisG, link down in the description, as well as Charlie's channel, The Blues Brothers. And of course, please do check out Pice's website, ChelseaFC365.com. Pice, will there be a lot of like World Cup based content surrounding Chelsea players as well? Or will it be World Cup in general? How's it going to be on the website?
Yeah, probably like reviewing Chelsea players' performances. I guess we could do some like stats and stuff like that. Maybe reviews from, I don't know. It just depends how the fixtures go, I guess. But we have dropped an article, quite a big article, where it's like basically things that we think Todd Boehly should work on throughout the World Cup, as we've now obviously got time off. So yeah, go and read that if you're interested, and let me know if you agree.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. Get involved with Pice's website, you know, get involved with the interesting articles on all sorts of topics. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we'll round this one out. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, upwards and onwards, up the, well, World Cup, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do the political stuff where we're like, oh, what do we think about no alcohol there? I would just say this, there was no alcohol in the away end in Milan either. So let's not just pretend like this is only a thing that happens in Qatar. And also in England, by the way, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at your seat either. You have to do it in the concourses. So, like, you know, I think people making a bit of a... The only stupid thing I personally find about it is that they decided this, 2 days before the thing starts. That's a bit stupid. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, up to onwards, and we'll see you next time.